You built the map, and now you're lost inside it. You spent years sketching out every route, every contingency, every escape tunnel. You think you know where this ends, until you look up and the lines blur. The horizon you chose begins to fracture. Suddenly, the control you rehearsed feels like a trap. That's when the contradiction starts to poison the plan. INTJ, INTP, not rivals, but two unsolvable riddles sitting across from each other at a table already set for disappointment. You watch the INTJ sharpen their strategy, stacking outcomes like dominoes, ready to make the first move before you've even finished your question. You think you envy them. Clarity, direction, certainty. But there's something off under the surface. What you don't talk about is the moment the INTJ's plan becomes the room they can't leave. Success starts looking like a jail cell, built brick by their own hand. The walls are smooth. The air is thin. They say it's progress. You see resignation. Meanwhile, you, the INTP, are out in the open, following thought after thought into the murk. The world calls you brilliant, but brilliance is easy when nobody is asking for results. Your notebooks are full, your calendar blank. You can talk about possible futures until the sun burns out, but you rarely pick one. Too many doors, too many keys. And here's the micro-shock. Nobody's actually waiting. Here's what nobody tells you. This only happens when they stop growing. You feel comfort in possibility. But under it all, possibility becomes paralysis. The INTJ calls it wasting time. You call it doing the work. Sometimes the only thing you're actually doing is circling just far enough away from commitment that nobody can blame you for failing. You planned to keep every option open and forgot life wasn't waiting for you to pick the perfect one. The INTJ watches you with a mix of curiosity and impatience. You challenge their certainty, slip under their radar, make them uncomfortable by not caring about the finish line. They want results. You want to see all the blueprints before you even break ground. This is where it splits. You build safety through control, INTJ style. You crave safety through freedom, INTP style. But both come at a cost you pretend not to see. One loses freedom, the other loses direction. You've felt this before. INTJ pride, I know what I want. But watch their eyes when a new variable shatters the timeline. Silence, calculations, micro adjustments nobody else notices. The plan bends, but so does the spine. Sometimes their certainty is just exhaustion in disguise. Now listen to the INTP edge. I just need more input. But how much input before the battery runs out? You pick apart the options until the options pick you apart. Clarity is the thing you only find when nobody's looking. And here's another micro-shock. Thinking isn't moving. You think figuring it out will protect you. It doesn't. INTJs realize the map is never the territory. INTPs realize the territory is endless. Both realize too late. You start to see the contradiction. The INTJ wants to win the game, but feels empty when they do. The INTP wants to rearrange the rules, then wonders why nobody's playing their version. One builds, one deconstructs. Both are haunted by what they can't predict. This is the part people miss. It's not that INTJs always choose the right path. It's not that INTPs are hopelessly lost. Sometimes INTJs chase structure so hard they forget what it was for. Sometimes INTPs poke holes in the world until everything leaks out. You call it strategy. You call it exploration. Sometimes it's just avoidance in a different suit. Here's the mid-script truth. You don't want the perfect plan. You want the illusion that planning is protection. For INTJs, this means stacking so many certainties that nothing surprises you, until something does. For INTPs, It means keeping possibilities alive so you never have to lose one, until you realize you never had any of them. That's where it gets dangerous. You stopped making decisions to avoid regret. You started calling it intelligence. You started calling it discernment. Sometimes your standards become distance. You retreat before the risk appears. You tell yourself you're just being cautious. But the INTJ's caution is commitment disguised as control. The INTP's caution is freedom disguised as indecision. Both are afraid. Here's the third micro-shock. You delay because you're terrified enough will never be enough. INTJ, you launch, but you never land quite where you thought. INTP, you never launch. But you never crash either. One collects trophies, dusty, impersonal, earned, but empty. The other collects notebooks, full of worlds but none lived in. You opened up and immediately wanted to disappear. You felt seen and instantly unsafe. The contradiction grows teeth. INTJs carve purpose from outcomes, but the outcome rarely feels like enough. INTPs dissolve purpose into theory, but theory becomes a labyrinth. The result? Circles of progress. Loops of almost satisfaction just out of reach, not at the same pace. You might be protecting yourself, but you're also pushing people away. You slow down right when things begin to matter. You call it needing time, needing space, but sometimes it's just fear. Both types want understanding. Both types avoid being truly understood. And here's where it shifts. INTJs break when strategy is mistaken for meaning. INTPs break when possibility is mistaken for living. Both can look in the mirror and see capability. Neither can always see the gaps they're digging. You lost momentum by reaching for control. You lost clarity by reaching for possibility. Both are an escape. And this is where it gets dangerous. It's easy to confuse progress with motion. It's easy to confuse thinking with living. It's easy to hide inside your own pattern and call it who you are. So what are you going to do? Keep thinking, or finally choose something real? Some people won't fully get this, but someone will. You call it independence, but sometimes it's loneliness. You call it brilliance, but sometimes it's self-defense. Not every disconnect is someone else failing you. INTJ. You wanted certainty, but the story kept changing. You wanted possibility, but got swallowed by your own thoughts. You designed the map. You wandered the terrain. Both of you circled the edge of a life you could have chosen. If only you'd let one plan be enough, or one possibility become real. It didn't feel wrong. It just went deeper than you could stay open for. And if this keeps happening, you already know why. You're not confused. You're repeating.